I love Tim Tebow. In fact, if there's one athlete that I've admired over the years, it's Tim Tebow. Not just because I'm a Denver Broncos fan and I had to love my quarterback, but just because of who he is on and off the field. In fact, it wasn't always that way. You see, Tim Tebow, I didn't like in his college days. I'm a big Penn State fan. I don't like the SEC too much. Even when Tebow played, I really thought that they should have kept with their senior quarterback, who I can't even remember his name today, but was an amazing athlete. And they went with Tebow, and what did Tebow do? He won the Heisman. He won a couple SEC championships as well as a couple national championships. And his hype rose. In fact, I was never a Tebow fan in college. I never jumped on that bandwagon. But when we drafted him as a Denver Bronco, guess what? I became a Tim Tebow fan. And to this day, I remain a Tebow fan because of what he's done more off the field than what he does on the field. Now, we could debate whether he can throw or he can't throw, whether he can run, whether he should be in the NFL. We can debate a lot of things. But the one thing that I have a lot of respect for is when you're high in fame and you can give God the glory, that is awesome. Tim did that. He did what he was famous for, of kneeling in the end zone, praying to God before a game, helping different orphanages, different people with illnesses, and just loving in the community. And he did that in aspects of when he was popular in the game. But I was curious to see, how would he continue to be off the field if he would end up find himself off a team? And that's what happened after the Denver Broncos got rid of him and released him, and he went to the New York Jets. He didn't play there very much, and then he was with the Patriots, and now with the Eagles, and now currently out of the NFL. Tim Tebow still lives and breathes his faith. And that's probably the biggest thing that I have a lot of respect for Tim, is the fact that when he was at the top of his game, when he was winning championships, when he was playing NFL, when he was leading the Broncos in that amazing playoff game and hitting Demaryius Thomas for that touchdown over the Steelers in the playoffs, that was amazing, and he gave God the rep. But even though that he's out of the NFL now and he's not on a roster, he continually gives Jesus reps. And to me, that is an athlete that's worth following. That's an athlete that's worth paying attention to. That's an athlete that's worth you using him as his leadership. In fact, many times in ministry, I found myself looking at Tebow for that type of stuff. Like Tim Tebow, people tell him he's not good, so he continues to work on his craft. Wow, that's amazing for a pastor. In those weak areas where you're at, maybe it's preaching. Maybe you just haven't got to that place where you're comfortable preaching. You just need more reps. Continue working on your craft. And then also give God the glory in the meantime. Man, does Tim do that all the time. I don't think you can have a conversation as a news anchor without Tim either quoting scripture, mentioning Jesus or God, or just talking about his faith. And see, that's a big thing that we can learn, whether we're playing in sports, whether we're going off to work, is we can rep Jesus where we're at. And so I love Tim Tebow, and I wanted to just kind of share that today with you, that he's an amazing guy to follow. I'd love to see him back in the NFL. I'd love to see him continue to take reps. Does he have to go to the CFL? Well, if he has to go to the CFL, then he needs to go to the CFL. But I love that guy. He's a great athlete.